What up, Dokkanners? We are 26 days and counting until the start of the 9-year anniversary. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the content that is dropping tonight, because this is the last bit of content for part 1 of this final pre-9-year block. And then we're also going to be discussing just how many stones approximately you can be earning between now and the start of the 9-year anniversary. So let's begin with the final pieces of the Frieza celebration. We are getting 2 events tonight. We are getting the legendary Frieza event, and we are getting the Dragon Ball story event. Now, all in all, these 2 combined give us about 77 Dragon Stones, so a good amount of stones for you guys to pick up. This is not going to be included in my Dragon Stone count approximation, however, so if you want to include that, then go ahead. The Dragon Ball story event, you might recall, I did mention this in my other video back a couple of days ago when we were going to be getting the Bardock EZA, the Super Strike event renewal. That's a tune-out, my bad. I did clarify in the pinned comment, but not everyone's going to see that. And I also changed the thumbnail and the title, hoping that it would, mitigate some of the damage, but I did say that this was dropping back then. I made a mistake. I made it oopsie. It's actually dropping tonight. So these 26 stones plus the 51 over here are happening tonight. There is no overlap. I just done goofed. So my bad. Now let's talk about the legendary Frieza event. So this is the newest iteration of the Fighting Legends series. Basically, it's an escalation event where the enemy gets increasingly tougher. Starting with the legendary Goku event, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There were 9 stages, with the final stage disabling dodge, each one getting increasingly more difficult. This is my favorite event. I like this event. When this first came out, the stacking and all the strategy that was needed to really just entrench yourself with your team and just go for it. It was a lot of fun. After that, they've brought it down to 8 stages, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is 7 stages. Okay, this one is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so legendary Goku event, the original one was 9, but then they've dropped it down to 7. Sure. You guys remember, for those of you who are veteran Dokkanners, remember how ridiculous this one was? Remember how tough it was to get through this right here? Everyone was like, oh, it's impossible. You can't get through the Super Saiyan 3 Golden Great Ape. I hate this game. It's so tough. Remember all that? Oh, good times. Good times. So if we look at the stat differentials, you'll probably see some pretty crazy numbers here. So let me start from the top. Let's also just review the Frieza. So first form is Tech, second form is Physical, third form is Int, final form is STR, full power AGL. Golden Frieza is Int. So let's just take a look at the starting stats. 15 million HP, so that is almost 4 times this one, 3 times that one, a little over twice as big as that one. Attack power is higher, defense is higher. I mean, naturally, this event is dropping, years later, so with the power scaling the way that it is, they kind of have to keep up. Damage reduction 53%, attacks per turn 6, percentage of a super attack, all that stuff is right here. So if you want to look at all the information on how the enemy fights, you can check DokkanInfo.com. When it comes to legendary event format, I'm already very familiar with all this, so this isn't really much of a spoiler for me. But to be fair, these guys look like they're going to be hitting pretty hard. So maybe that's the appeal for this event. It's going to be mainly bringing protective characters so that you don't get vaporized in one shot. Final phase. So normally dodge is disabled. Is that not a thing anymore? Disables evasion. UI Goku. Super Saiyan 4 disables evasion. Royal Blue disables evasion. What is the deal with Golden Frieza? So you can still dodge? Okay. Let's check the stats though. 45 million, 400,000 attack, 750,000 defense, 70% damage reduction. 1.12 million damage on the super. That's 3 times as strong as him. That is twice as strong as him, and it's twice as strong as him. This guy hits softer than the Super Saiyan 4. Really interesting. Okay, I never really look at these stats. So yeah, looking at all these numbers for these guys compared to the newbie, this guy is definitely no joke. So we'll see how difficult this ends up being. There are some missions associated with it. If you just get through the different stages, you'll get some stones, you'll get some skill orbs. But then there are 3 category-based missions you have to clear with Pure Saiyans, all 6 Pure Saiyans. The friend unit can be whatever you want. And then for this one, you have to bring 6 Dragon Ball Secrets characters. Friend can be whatever you want. And 6 Planet Namek Saga characters. Friend can be whatever you want. Right off the bat, I could tell you, you could run Ginyu Force, and that satisfies both of these category conditions. So that might be a fun challenge. But given how difficult the event might be, maybe that's not possible. So let's see what you guys are capable of. I will be doing this live, so make sure you guys join me for that. I will be live on the channel tonight. Make sure you guys subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss the live stream action. As for the Dragon Ball story event, I mean, you already know how that works. It's just revamping the original. So 23 stones from the core stages and then an extra 3 stones from the missions. If you guys have not picked up your second form Friezas, you can do so. Mainly because this is just a unique character. I mean, we don't have a fully functioning second form Frieza in the game except for this guy. So on the premise of just having a unique character, this would be a fun pickup. Plus, hidden potential orbs, are they taken care of in the missions? No, it was just the support memory. Yeah. So you would have to farm the hidden potential orbs from stage 10, but with the new revamp, the category boost and all that stuff, it's going to be far easier to actually do all that. So yeah, all this gives us 26 dragon stones. So now on to the good stuff. How many dragon stones can we be earning between now and the 9-year anniversary? So the last time that I did this was about a month ago. Once again, I would remind you guys, I always underestimate the values. I always do this because I would rather we be pleasantly surprised with extra stuff rather than to oversell, overshoot, and overpromise to then not get enough. And given how some of you might be feeling a little bit desperate right now, I would rather you guys live with the fact that you're going to be getting less stones than more, so that you don't feel as complacent when it comes to saving whatever stones you have left. Calculation errors are a thing. I mean, for crying out loud, I just told you that I goofed on the calculations on the previous video, so oopsies. Extra stones not counted. If you are new to the game, then the things that I typically don't count would count for you. So something as mundane as a random story event coming back would mean a ton of stones for you, but I'm not going to be counting that. So if you're a brand new player, whatever I tell you, you could effectively, I don't know, add 50% to that and you would probably be correct. I probably missed some stuff. The whole confusion regarding the unification is still out there. So, you know, some of the things that I'm going to be factoring in and not including might be different in a couple of days. I am recording and posting this video before part 2 is revealed. Part 2 is kind of a major question at this point. Are we going to be getting LR Ginyu? Are we going to be getting LR Ginyu and maybe whatever the part 2 LR that is coming up for JP? Are we going to be skipping all luxury characters and are we going to be jumping into Topo Dokkan Festival? None of those things can be answered at this point, but you guys have been asking for this anyway, so I wanted to get this video out there. Extra stuff, Tanabata, blah, 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 blah. So let's go through this. Last time we did this was during Golden Week, so all of this has been grayed out. We're not going to be counting any of that. We're not counting Goku Day, not part 2, and I'm not going to be including the Frieza calculations. I made sure to move everything over here. That was in part 2. The Dragon Ball story event was originally in part 2. Legendary Frieza event was in part 2. All of this Ginyu Bardock stuff was also in part 2, but I moved all of this up here, so that doesn't count. The Ginyu celebration. So assuming the Ginyu celebration is coming up next, which is a big if, I guess, this is what I did. I went through the logins and I doubled it because daily missions effectively give you twice as many stones, right? Quest area 34, stages 5 through 8. With JP now receiving area 35, Global has to at least catch up on 34. So with this one having to be done maybe before 9-year anniversary, I would imagine this would probably be a good spot to put it. This might end up not even being here. Maybe they push this into 9-year, who knows? But I'm gonna go ahead and count this. So 20 Dragon Stones. Missions from the Ginyu celebration gave 6. I'm counting 3 stones for Super EZA because of the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Only because everything else doesn't make sense during the Ginyu celebration. At least Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is a special pose character, as is the Ginyu. Ginyu, I believe, was the follow-up to Topo, was he not? Or maybe he wasn't, I don't remember. But yeah, this just makes the most sense. So I'm putting that there. Burst mode gives us 9. I am now removing the asterisk on the World Tournament. I am 99% sure we will be getting a World Tournament for part 2. Of course, that could change. So if that happens, then remove 50 stones. But 137 Dragon Stones available in part 2. I don't even know what to do with this, y'all. I don't know what to do. So I am not going to include it. Dokkan has proven that they are doing the weirdest thing possible. So whatever they're going to do, I'm going to assume until told otherwise that it is going to be following last year's blueprint, which means this celebration goes into the trap celebration slot between 9-year and worldwide download. So I choose not to include this. If you want to, you can. And if you do, you can add around 100 Dragon Stones if you want, or you can just keep it at the exact number. It is entirely up to you. But I will be including the 9-year anniversary countdown. The 9-year anniversary countdown takes place and concludes before the 9-year anniversary begins, which means we get the LRUI EZA, we get the comeback campaign, the Excite battle. All remaining red zone stages might not even necessarily drop here. It could drop earlier, but I'm just going to include it here because at some point we will get it. So it all goes to the same place. So we get about 100 Dragon Stones from the 9-year anniversary countdown with all things considered, bringing our total to about 232 when you factor in the 9th anniversary countdown and the Ginyu Part 2 celebration. Again, not including Topo. and not including any other possible celebration integrations because I got no clue. So with 232 stones, that might be a little bit too specific. It might be a little bit too on the dot. So what I would recommend is that you undersell. And that is why approximately 200 dragon stones will be available between now and the 9-year anniversary, not counting the events that are dropping on June 11th, June 12th for most of you, 2024, and only counting the part 2 celebration, which is the final celebration before 9-year, and the 9th anniversary countdown. Between those two things, about 200 dragon stones will be in your pocket by the time we jump in. So then, if you want to include another 1,000 for the anniversary itself, you can. I will be doing Dragonstone previews for each of the parts. We will be reviewing each part of the celebration. We'll be discussing the free-to-play aspects of the celebration. All sorts of 9th anniversary prep videos are on the way. Don't worry, but in the meantime, hopefully this can give you some peace of mind. For those of you who are still trying to save, this is what you got left. We don't have much time left, so don't expect a whole lot of stones. This is all you're gonna get, and that's still pretty good considering we have 1 month to go. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Let me know in the comments, if you add 200 dragon stones into your stone count right now, what does that bring your total to? Are you guys looking forward to the legendary Frieza event? Are you guys a fan of the stacking meta like I am? Which category are you going to be working on first? What is your #1 priority going into the 9th anniversary? Let me know your thoughts overall in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned, and remember to Dokkan responsibly.